That's a famous saying, you know, among modern community, that that you don't need to worry throughout your life what you do, because at the deathbed you just pay respect to the God, you know, you just worship the God and you go to heaven. You know, it's in Christianity the same thing. So this is true. This is true. And how is this done? I mean, like, this is true that Christians believe that. And how is this done is because of this cause and effect. So if there is the cause, then the effect happens. And the world of these causes and effects is explained in the Patana book, but it's very, very difficult to understand. And we could easily say that it's only the Buddha who understands, you know, how karma really works. But you can think of it like that the time when the person is going to die is the most important time. Let me make a simile. You know, do you know when children are following school, there are different kinds of children in respect to their learning. Some children learn a lot. Every day at home, they go home, they learn. Like, this is the American European society is easy to explain. This is not like the Burmese where you don't go home. You wake up, go to school, and then you come back from school late at night. So no, this is not an education. This is destruction of humanity. But in Europe and in America, the education system is based on that you go to school, you take some basic knowledge during the morning, maybe during noon, and then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you go back home. So you have all afternoon for yourself. But it is expected that you will dedicate an hour or two to review that what you learned at school. So this is for you a merit. You know, so you can think of this like a merit. So if you review, if you learn, if you care, this would be like a merit. If you don't care, like during the school, you know, if you like speak with your classmate and you don't care, you're drawing things, or you are writing love letters or whatever, then this would be the demerit. You know, this would be like the bad deed, because you are not interested in the learning. You are destroying your progress, you know. And then there comes the time of examination. The exam comes, and now let's now disregard the cases of cheating. You know, this will not be okay for our simile. Let's now suppose that there is no way how to cheat. You know, that the teachers already know all the teaching systems, so they have it all very well supervised, very well organized. Nobody can cheat. You must learn. Either you know, you pass, or you don't know, you don't pass. And now maybe you know that I think this is in all schools, in all classes, there will be two kinds of students in terms of learning for an examination. One who just review, or who don't even review because they already know it all. Usually those who know, they review anyway, you know, 2 times more than anybody else, you know. But anyway, you know, they do not need to review, they already know it all, because every day they were learning and learning and learning. So for them, passing the examination is so easy, and everybody can say from the beginning that they will pass. Nobody needs to doubt this. They doubt it, of course, but nobody doubts that. Everybody knows, oh yeah, of course, that's the lady. She always learns, she will pass. And there are some folks who didn't learn. So what they do before examination, they try to cram up, you know, all of the information into their head during the last night. And then we can see that those who learned throughout those days, they will pass the examination. And also those who will cram up all the information during the last night, they also sometimes pass the examination. And you could say, isn't this so unfair, you know? Because the others, they dedicated hours and hours every day at home, you know, without having fun with their friends. And now they pass in a similar way as those who just crammed up the information. And I will tell you, no, it is fair. How is this fair? Because those who learned every day, they will remember it also after the examination. So the result, the consequence is in the long run much better than for those who cramped up during that one night, because they will pass, they may pass, not always, they may pass the examination, but they will forget immediately as the examination finishes. And it doesn't work always, you know. Sometimes they will not have time to cram up the information. They will not have the opportunity to learn, especially if they learn in a bigger family where they have dogs and little kids and a lot of problems. Then, of course, they may not have the time to learn for the exam during the last night. Some may be so lucky, but they are lucky, we could say, because of something what they did before in their past time. You know, so they have the environment to cram up during that last night. So again, that would be a consequence of something good that they did in the past, that they could cram up the information. Now, I must say that in my life, I have been both. You know, I have been both. For the primary school and high school, I was exactly this cram up style. You know, like no learning ever. Just tomorrow is exam, okay, so tonight I'll be learning, you know. Or I would not learn even at night, you know. I would stay in front of the in front of the classroom. I would come to school, you know, 1 hour earlier, and I would learn while I'm in front of the door, you know. And then the examiner calls, so now this gentleman, please come in, and I would be there, you know, with the book, still learning, and I need to learn this. I have 1 hour to learn this, or 30 minutes to learn this, you know, and trying to learn during 30 minutes what we studied throughout the year. So yeah, I have the experience, and apart from one special case, I always passed. So yes, I know that it works. But then after the examination, I forgot it all. And now when I'm out of school, I am missing basic information. And it's ridiculous, you know, it's ridiculous. So I learn biology, I learn mathematics as a monk, you know, when I'm 30 years old from internet, you know, this is funny. And I learn it because I know that everybody else knows it, but I don't. Because I memorized it and forgot it. You know, so this is the consequence, you know, of my demerit, you know, that I didn't learn, you know, I didn't care. I was writing hip hop songs, hip hop lyrics, you know, during the classes. So I didn't listen, I didn't care, you know. So then we had mathematics, we had to learn something, I didn't know anything, you know, like 6 months, I was just writing lyrics. And I had no idea what are we learning about. But fortunately, that was the first semester. So, I mean, like the first half of the year, that was just at the high school. Then when I followed at the university, the Buddhist and Pali University, it was the other way. So there I learned every day. And I learned because I was the one who can speak in English, and the other classmates couldn't speak in English so well. This was in Sri Lanka. So all of the students were from Asian country. I was the only person who was coming from the West. So all of them were interested in how their notes or how the teacher's teaching is correctly noted, what it really means. Because they would write down notes, but they couldn't understand them. So I received notes for all the 3 years, now 3 years study for the BA degree, and I received these 3 years notes for the last 12 years from students from the last 12 years, and I was typing these notes into computer with better spelling. Of course, not perfect. I still make mistakes, but as much as possible to make them meaningful, you know, to make them somehow understandable. And as I was typing them, I was thinking about them, I was pondering about them. I tried to make them better, and I made some special system, you know, how to learn them better, how to understand them better, like putting Pali things into italics and places into some special kind of font, and names into special kind of font, and so on. So it's easier, like when I read it again, it's easier to remember. So then when I had to learn for examination, it was so easy. It was so easy for me to understand and to pass. So of course I worried that I passed, but none of my classmates worried that I passed. And then when I passed with 6 A's, as the best classmate of all. So the Kamma in this case may be similar to this, you know. So some people do bad deeds throughout their life, and at the end of their life, they may get the opportunity to do a very good deed. Not everybody gets that opportunity. Some people do. And because of this opportunity, they pass. You know, they pass, let's say, for example, to the heaven. And then in the heaven, if they don't do good deeds, then they're lost, you know. Then they're lost. It's very difficult to do good deeds in heaven. There are two ways how next life is decided. Either it is decided by the last thoughts, or it is decided by the prominent actions in the life. So if the person has an opportunity to think, to consider their deeds in their life, then it will be their last thoughts, which will decide about the next life. But if the person doesn't have that opportunity, let's say that they pass away while they are sleeping, or while they are, while they are unconscious, then it will be their prominent deeds in their life which will cause the next life.